Hi guys, welcome to my channel. Today we are going to discuss about Visit to the Unknown from Tensei Shitara Slime Talk, and so without any ado let's begin. Visit to the Unknown, 03 Food Situation Part 1. Zaza was stunned. It could not believe what was happening in front of its eyes. Of course, murder dogs were known as the embodiment of fear, and Beretta had killed 3 of them in an instant, so it could not be helped. Is this real? I cannot believe it. Without being able to accept it, Zaza stood in shock. Then a voice sounded from behind Zaza. Kaa ha 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 ha. Oh, Ramirez, I have found a survivor. We thought this world was a miss, but there may even be other life if we look for them. Master. That's fine and all, but my whole body feels tingly and it hurts. Zaza jumped and then turned around. A beautiful brown-skinned man with blonde hair was standing there. Not only that, he looked natural, as if his body had not been altered at all. He just wore casual clothes and stood there. Of course, it was Feldera. Hey, you. Are you crazy? You can't dress like that with all of the radiation. Zaza could not help but shouting. And Zaza could not be blamed. Feldera's clothing was completely abnormal. In fact, this entire surface world was full of danger. There was the thin oxygen and poison in the atmosphere. The reason that the enemy could use nuclear weapons without regard over the destruction of the environment was that the environment was already polluted beyond repair. This world was already on its way, at a rapid speed, towards destruction. But there were those who had a will to fight this fate and created an organization. The resistance that Zaza was a part of, Light of Dawn. Ha ha ha. Isn't it cool? This outfit was designed by Rimuru and made by Shana. What do you think? Who cares about how you look? More importantly, this thing about thick radiation has an ominous ring to it. And my body kind of hurts. It's important, so I'm going to say it again. It's tingling and painful. It was here that Zaza noticed another strange thing about Feldera. A voice. Something was sitting on Feldera's shoulder and saying they felt pain. Zaza's eyes went to Ramirez and widened. No. This is not about pain. Are you really fine? And what is that small thing? Ramirez ignored Zaza and continued to wail. Hey, Master. I just remembered something. Didn't Rimuru say that radiation was bad for human bodies? It should be fine, I think. He said that it was fine if it was only a small amount. After all, if the sunlight is fine, then there should be no problem. Hey, wait. It may be fine for someone like you, since you can live outside of the atmosphere, but it's bad for a weak fairy like me. And that young man over there just said that it was very dense. Hey, don't cry like that. Oh, well. I shall make a little barrier then and nullify this radiation thing. Feldera mumbled excuses against Ramirez's complaints as he started to strengthen the barrier. Fairies took damage from radiation? Zaza wondered about this, but decided not to ask. Ramirez finally regained her calm after Feldera was finished. If she really had been taking damage, it would already be too late for her. But seeing as that was not the case, it was clear that she had been imagining the pain because she was scared. I was wondering, Master. If you can do that, I would have liked it if you did it in the beginning. Didn't I tell you? You're supposed to protect me. Oh, I knew it. I should have had Beretta protect me instead. Let go of it already. I will do better next time. Don't worry about it. Really? Are you sure? You better mean it. Feldera and Ramirez continued their bickering as Zaza stood in shock once again. Ultimately, Feldera gave in and the matter was settled. But while they talked, Zaza was so stunned that he could not open his mouth. He didn't know what to do, and his reasoning could not keep up with the situation. And so it was Beretta, who had killed the murder dogs in an instant, who spoke first. I meant to capture them, but they were accidentally destroyed. This is not good. I tried to use magic to restrain them at first, but I could not activate it. There is no energy here. Not being able to use magic means that I will have to completely rethink the way I fight. But it is so hard to adjust. Beretta said as he finished inspecting the destroyed murder dogs before standing up. Feldera and Ramirez heard him and stopped their fighting. At the same time, Zaza realized that what was happening now was not a dream, and he was finally able to speak. Hey. I don't know what is happening here, but you have my thanks for saving me. But this place is dangerous. I want to retreat to a safe area. Will you people come with me? I would like to repay you and ask some questions. Oh? Would this place happen to have other intelligent creatures, that is, humans? Yes. We will have to take a longer route in order to avoid being followed, but my comrades will be there. Feldera and Ramiris listened to him and then looked at each other and nodded. If there were others here, then there would surely be someone who knew a lot about the culture of this world. And so they decided to follow Zaza. Beretta had known them for long enough to see what they were thinking, and so he obeyed without any objections. Very well. We have things we would like to ask as well. You may lead us to this place then. Feldera said, representing the others. Zaza nodded. As for Zaza, he did not completely trust these 2, 3, including Ramiris, just yet. But he decided that if the Empire had sent these 3 for the purpose of finding their hideout, then they would not have gone as far as to destroy 3 very expensive murder dogs. As angry as it makes me, 3 murder dogs would be worth more to them than being able to crush us. This was his conclusion after giving it some thought. And so like that, Feldera and the others were led by Zaza to the hidden abode of the Resistance Organization, the Light of Dawn. While on the road, they introduced themselves to Zaza. Though, Zaza did not appear to take Feldera's bold claim, that they had come from another world, very seriously. However, he did not pry any further. Maybe they just want to hide the truth. After all, they have such advanced weapons. That's what Zaza thought. He looked at Beretta and felt that his will was to obey Feldera's orders. And then there was that miniature automata called Ramiris. But then again, he was not even sure if she was an automata. To Zaza, this Ramiris seemed like it was the result of unbelievable technology. It was only about 30 centimeters tall and it sat on Feldera's shoulder. What's wrong with you? You've been staring at me all this time. Don't tell me you have fallen in love? Well, I am quite cute, so it would be no surprise. But too bad. I am not that kind of girl. Ramiris laughed haughtily. She had clearly misunderstood something. Zaza looked away. See? Even the people of this world are no match for my allure. She began to boast to Feldera. What kind of mechanism? I've never heard of a cyborg of that size. Is it a robot then? No, those smooth movements are that of an automata. It was saying something about pain earlier, so it must have some kind of sensory organ replicate. But an automata of that size? No, more importantly, I have never heard of such advanced artificial intelligence. Is it a brain transplant? Or, memory install? Zaza thought all this while giving a sideways glance. He decided that there was no way that Ramiris was an artificial intelligence. Surely it was not possible for even an advanced program to think and react just like a human. Well, maybe it was possible if you had the same ability to process information that the quantum computers aboard the Empire's battleships had. But it was surely not possible on something as small as Ramiris. I feel like I am going crazy. This cannot be real. No, wait. Then Zaza thought of something. That's it. If they used the rumored space expansion technology to compress and store the brain. This person called Ramiris must have transplanted her brain into this small automata. That is what Zaza started to believe. It answered a lot of questions he had had. Yes, I see. So this Ramiris person is the most important among them. And this defense cyborg called Feldera and the combat weapon that is Beretta are here to protect her. There were too many things that were unclear, and so Zaza came to this conclusion. Of course, he had thought a little too much about it, and had ended up reaching a conclusion that was completely wrong. To begin with, Feldera had not told a single lie. They had come from a different world, just as he had explained. However, considering that the scientific ability of this world, where there was no actual confirmation of other worlds existing, Zaza had to believe that they were fugitives who had escaped from some laboratory. And it was this that led to his great misunderstanding. That being said, it was not exactly something that would lead to much trouble. All it resulted in was Ramiris getting a little carried away and Feldera sulking. And so, this here is Ramiris. And this is Feldera and Beretta. They saved me from the Empire's murder dogs. The person who Zaza explained this to was Sharma, a mid-level executive in the organization. She was a middle-aged woman whose appearance suggested gentleness. The other person, who was standing behind Sharma, was a nervous-looking man in his 30s whose name was Rindo. As Sharma and Rindo were ordinary people, they looked their age. While he looked like he was in his 20s, Zaza was a cyborg, and actually much older. However, Zaza was with the line troops, and so he answered to Sharma, who managed them. They were currently at one of the bases of the resistance organization, Light of Dawn, that Zaza had led them to. It was not very far from the underground shelter that was their main base. They had moved through the maze-like underground passages to get here, careful to make sure that they were not followed. The reason that there were only 2 people to greet them was because Light of Dawn were wary of Feldera and the others. Zaza had sent a report electronically in advance. But of course, Light of Dawn did not feel that the strangers could be trusted until they saw them with their own eyes. While the strangers may have killed 3 murder dogs, Rindo felt that it could still be a trap by the Empire, and his opinion held a lot of weight. Zaza trusted Feldera and the others, but it was not so easy for those at the top. And so Feldera now sat on a chair that was facing the 3 others. Behind him Beretta stood and Ramiris sat on his shoulder, just like she always did. I see. It is too bad that Jitta and the others died. But we are lucky to have you back, Zaza. And we have you 3 to thank for it. Thank you for saving our comrade, Zaza. After hearing Zaza's story, Sharma bowed deeply and thanked them. Rindo kept silent and continued to observe Feldera and the others. Feldera did not seem to mind as he began to laugh. Ka ha 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 ha. Oh, it was really nothing. In any case, Sharma. Are there more people in this place that you live in? Yes. Almost 1,000. But not many of them are warriors. Sharma said in a vague, guarded voice. She was not sure what reason Feldera had for asking this question. As for Rindo, who stood behind her, he narrowed his eyes at Feldera now. I see. So they are targeting our base after all. It will be dangerous to tell them of our fighting force. That's what Rindo decided. But only 1,000? That's hardly anything. Is it a small village? In that case, I don't know if we can expect any good food or amazing art that would draw our interest. Master, I guess this world is a miss after all. I mean, they seem too busy with their war to build an interesting culture. You are probably right. But, well, we should still check it out anyway. That's true. We came all this way, after all. That is what Feldera and Ramiris started to say upon hearing Sharma's answer. Rindo could not hide his confusion. It was not what he had expected at all. Their purpose was the search for new entertainment. They had no interest in their military power at all, but as Rindo knew none of this, he was left to be confused. Oh, right. We still haven't finished thanking you yet. We cannot offer you much, but we prepared a little meal for you. I'll bring it right now. Zaza seemed to have sensed the awkward atmosphere, and he said this as if to help lighten things up. This was one of their bases, and it had the facilities for several people to live here for a few weeks. Food was very valuable at this time, but as long as there was a need to monitor the Empire, it was necessary to keep this place stocked. And yet Zaza meant to serve this valuable food to Feldera and the others. It was his way of showing his appreciation. Zaza prepared the food himself and set it out in front of them. However, I do not require food. Ramiris, you can eat it if you want. Oh, really? Thank you. So you do spoil her after all, Beretta? Oh, well. He did not need food, but that meant he could eat it, and yet Beretta pushed his food towards Ramiris. Feldera watched this with jealous eyes, but the real problem occurred after that. Let's eat then. What is this? It feels like Play-Doh and has no taste. And this water is muddy. Disgusting. What is this tablet? Hey. What is the meaning of this? Are you trying to bully me? Exactly. Someone as great as I will not allow this insult to go unpunished. To Feldera and Ramiris, the food was of unbelievably low quality. It wasn't poison. It was actually very well balanced in terms of energy. However, it did not seem like the kind of thing to give to guests as a show of gratitude. Hate based off of food was strong. And Feldera and Ramiris were very gluttonous. They had been served something inedible, and now the fires of rage burned hot within them. Zaza became frantic. Hey. Please wait. This is our precious water, energy tablet, and solid food. Taste? Who would ask for something so luxurious? Zaza was truly shocked as he fired back at Feldera and Ramiris. Their resources were so scarce now, and a single meal was very valuable. One of the reasons that they attacked the Empire was so that they could take food supplies from the enemy's food production plants. In this situation, taste was hardly important. Thank you for watching. Like, share and subscribe for more content.